That actually I didn't want that press conference to hold at that time, because you needed to follow the rise and fall of the accidents and then come in when it has the plateau so that it carries more impact. But I told them it was going to happen, and I know that I specifically mentioned the Otedola Bridge that day. So when this thing happened, a lot of people called me and said, what happened?
Did you know?
Are you a magician? I say it's not about magic, it's about knowledge and skill. You understand? I've not gone there. Even though I live very close to that place, I've not gone there because there's nothing new to see. I knew it was going to happen because the things that caused the accidents are said there.
Now that's what we can talk about, because you notice that with the engineer Akinsanya, who is the director of operations and maintenance of Lagos State Emergency Agency, he was talking. In fact, when we have conversations with any emergency people, they usually talk about they're working with a view to ensuring that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. Now it's happening, and you've just said that it will continue. It will happen again. It will happen again. This is alarming.
And I can tell you the locations around the country. You as chairman board of fellows,
you know, of fire protection.
I've been into this thing for over 4 decades.
So, what exactly are we doing wrong then?
It's not about what we are doing wrong.
Or what are we not doing?
What we have done wrong.
Yes.
And what we are still doing wrong.
And
what we will do wrong if we don't act now.
Okay.
Let
me just listen.
What I want to say regarding this is that I want to approach these issues from 2 angles. The accident prevention. What needs to be done to prevent this kind of thing from happening. And then the emergency response management. And that is where people die. Poor emergency response management.
But isn't Lagos better than most in that
regard? Lagos is the center of excellence. Better, a lot better. I must give that to Lagos. A lot better. Especially if you look at what is happening with the fire services in Lagos State. Compared to what is happening in other places, Lagos is doing well. But they're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with the complexity of the problem. Let me go direct to the issue you talked about.
Sure.
In accident prevention, we look specifically at 3 major issues. What we call the TTR, training, technology, and regulations. Those things are weak.
In Lagos and everywhere else?
Everywhere in Nigeria.
Everywhere in Nigeria.
Everywhere.
Say that again. Training,
technology, regulations.
And regulations.
What we call TTR.
So we are weak. The Nigerian system is weak in that regard.
The training area is weak. When the media were asking me last 2 weeks, but these people have been trained, I say, no, you don't just train. The needs analysis had not been properly done. If you train and address the wrong issue, you will get the wrong result. A proper needs analysis had to be conducted to get exactly what the problem is. Like I said, this matter had been addressed even under building collapse, because they all come under disaster management. And the point that is being made is that the issue that is a situation where you run general training for drivers who drive tankers, you can't get the best result. The guy who is driving petroleum tanker and the guy who is driving a trailer loaded with beans from Lagos to Sokoto are not the same. They are not. No.
Either a petroleum trailer or a gas trailer.
Or a gas trailer. The challenges are different, and therefore the needs are different.
Do we actually conduct ourselves as so? In other words, in that sector of trailer tanker drivers, is a driver not just a driver? Are they aware that you need an extra specialization,
They don't know. Sadly, they don't know.
So
many of them
almost anybody with a driving
that is what is
professional driving license
that is what we
can be handed the keys to.
That is what we found out, and that is where the Railroad Safety Commission comes in. You understand? You don't just somebody who have been driving whatever foodstuff, and suddenly he changes over and says, because I drive a trailer, and then you bring him in. One, the structure for that training is not even there. You need to organize them properly.
Okay.
To be able to drive training specific to their needs.
You know, one of the things that would occur to most people,
Yes.
not being experts, is that the owner of the trailer
Yes.
is or the tanker
Yes.
is very, very important in terms of there are obligations that they have.
Yes.
So when people began to talk about brake failure, you begin to
Yes.
wonder, what do you mean brake failure?
Yes.
Like aeroplanes, there should be checks
Yes.
at certain designation time intervals. Does
remember I just
anybody
mentioned-
look at them and see if
I
they're
just
doing
told
the
you about
needful?
regulations. They are on the TTR. I just told you about
That's the
regulations.
R
Yes.
in TTR.
Regulations.
So nobody is bothering to follow up.
It's not that nobody is bothering. People are bothering, but when you bother with the wrong thing, you get a wrong result.
But how can an operational tanker, how can they be talking about brake failure? You don't wait for a catastrophe before you begin to...
Let me tell you what we advocated in that press conference. These people need to be properly organized, all right, into a body, so that you
When
can...
you say these people, are you talking about
the people who...
owners, trailer owners or drivers?
Both the owners and the drivers. Let me tell you the problem that comes from the owners. Many of these owners, they import the tractor, that is the head of the trailer. That is what comes into Nigeria. But go all around Nigeria, you come into Lagos, there are people who build the body. That body where the fluid is. The people buy this. They go to these people and buy the body and hook up.
Then hook up.
That's a misalignment.
Well, I was going to say,
At the
can you
joint.
just do that? Can you just do that as if, doesn't that require all sorts
But
of
that is what-
regulatory checks
that is what is happening.
and approvals?
That is what I'm telling you. That is what I'm telling you.
Going on anywhere in
because
Nigeria.
because there's a misalignment
Yes, yes, yes.
at that linkage point. That is where the engineering comes in.
I see.
Because there's a misalignment there, any very serious vibration disconnects that point.
Well, this is a problem because you said you held a press conference where you were warning that, look, it's not a matter of not being
I said it will happen again.
until we address
You need
these
to.
kind of issues.
And it's not going to be an emergency thing. It's not going to happen overnight because the issue is endemic. So it is going to be addressed in such a way that it will take time to build up, and then we track and monitor
till we arrive at that
until
excellence that Lagos is known for.
That's right.
But you are saying that you are not removing Lagos this time in this criticism that the TTR.
Yes.
You know.
Lagos, I must tell you, Lagos is doing well because I know the fire services all over the country. Lagos is doing well. I'm not saying it to
fancy to anybody, but
no.
Lagos is doing well, but still, you cannot remove them from this TTR thing.
The thing that happened at Otedola Bridge there, is it not Lagos? It's Lagos.
Okay. Mazi Okorafor, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. You see, picture of the explosion, tank exit. There's one thing.
No, they say it's not explosion, no. They say it's gas tanker fire. Not explosion.
Okay. The one I want us to do now is this. In terms of security, in terms of emergency, what the government should be doing is all local governments, they should make it mandatory. Let them have at least 5 tankers. What about this emergency tanks they use fire service? At least 5. And that 5 must be constantly with all the facilities and the personnel 247. At least the fire service is supposed to be at least to have the highest number of employees. Why? So that they're working 24 hours. But the situation whereby we don't have water, we don't have the vehicles. These are the major problems Nigeria is facing. It is not a question of the people will make a come, they will tell you they are coming. And the irony of it is that most of Nigerian drivers or road users, you will see an emergency vehicle coming, blowing siren, their responsibility is just to seek for them to pass. You'll be dragging road with them. That is what people
Okay.
contribute a lot of things
So-
that make all this emergency. They don't respond when it is due.
I hear you.
And it's created a lot of problem for us now. And this issue of networking is very, very important. Because when you say emergency, emergency is emergency, means emergency attention, emergency action, emergency. This one to active, not active the question of waiting. But the security agents will help the matter. What they have by help the matter. When you start vehicles coming now, clear the road, whether you're on duty or not, and help the station. But everybody should have waiting happen. And the other is that some people, when they go and see their incident happen somewhere, they would like to go to loot and start snapping and be big boy with their phone that is snapping, posting, making all sorts of comments, creating more problems. This is always to decide that to make the problem. Some people
Okay.
will just snap and say, now write one kind of report that you yourself, when you start panicking. Whereas no serious thing is happening. Sometimes some serious things happen. The way some people will just say this thing, like, you not even know which is true. So Nigerians are part and parcel of this making the emergency situation not being taken for granted. Honestly speaking, local government is not something for state government.
All right then.
Well,
Well, Mazi, I beg your pardon, Mazi. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Thank you very
morning.
much for
Good morning.
calling in, Mazi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. In terms of, I dealt with it a bit with the Lasema guy. The fact that most people know that different fires require different methods of attack.
For sure.
You know, so if it's a gas fire, if it's a petrol fire, if it's an electric fire, or whatever, give me your impressions as to how well we are doing in that regard of bringing the right tools to the job, since you've talked about TTR failures.
While I answer your question, I need to bring in some other very key points I want to make on this.
Okay.
So that we don't get lost. Because there are too many issues to address. Like I said, to reduce this risk, we can't remove it completely. There's no zero risk anywhere. You understand? But to manage it and reduce it properly, it's going to take time. We're going to sit down to draw up a strategic plan on how to reduce that risk. Our infrastructure is weak. The infrastructure again goes to the T area. Are you getting that?
Yeah.
I heard the last speaker talking about water and hydrants and the rest.
And that's why I brought the question I brought, said you need some
When
background.
we want to start addressing this, we need to sit down and work out all this, and then start ticking the boxes one by one.
Okay. But I wanted to get your impression. Thank you very much for this background.
That's
but I wanted
right.
to get your impression on how well we are doing for the different kind of fires. You know, are we well equipped, or is there still room for improvement?
A lot of room. A lot of room.
Because the Lasema guy said, I said, what did you bring to bear on the fire? And he explained that, look, what normal firefighting waiting call with added chemicals.
Yes.
With added chemicals, because that's the nature of the fire. So how are we doing in that regard?
I just told you I am coming from an aviation background.
Yes.
Aircraft fire is not the same thing as the domestic fire you see in one estate. You're talking in aviation, for example, of fire at temperatures of about 1,300 degrees centigrade.
The kind of fire that happened, in comparison, yes.
No, this one again, obviously is not to that extent.
Okay.
Are you getting that?
Yeah.
It's not to that extent, but it's not the kind of fire you see in somebody's kitchen. Are you getting that? Therefore, you need specialized equipment to manage the different types of fire.
Well, now that you're speaking about
And
this,
different training.
I remember some pictures I've seen in relation to preventing fires on aircrafts that have maybe landed, and what you see is foam covering the entire aircraft. I was wondering or thinking that we might have something similar in this instance, but apparently not so.
The principles are the same. You just want to break the fire triangle.
Okay.
Oxygen, the fuel, and the material. Once you cut that leg, what the foam is trying to do is to blanket off the oxygen from getting in. Once it blankets it off, the fire will go off.
You starve the fire.
But it's not just any foam. That thing is specialized chemical.
So it's not Omo?
No.
But you hear people say, bring soft, bring Omo.
Because they are looking at the kind of fire you see in your kitchen. Are you getting that? The principle is the same.
Okay.
Are you getting that?
Yeah. But the scale.
The scale will not determine. The one you see in aircraft fire, you see huge volume of foam compound. And you must do it within a specified time. Mm-hmm. Within 3 minutes. In aviation, if you don't rescue anybody, everybody is dead.
Okay.
Are you getting that?
Yeah.
The same thing in the tanker fire. You need to again. My brother, it's a long story. The training has to be specialized and targeted to addressing this problem.
Is the training such as you are describing yet to start, or is it a work in progress?
If you ask many of the players, and they will tell you that they are training. But I'm saying that the training is not addressing the need. There is something we call the dirty dozen. All right? And what do we call this dirty? The human factors.
Okay.
Are you getting that? Upset-mindedness, tiredness, distraction. From studies, they have been brought under this framework. 12 of them. You will see people who will be driving from here to Sokoto or Maiduguri with a big 33,000 liters. He's tired. Before you know it.
So there's nothing too small.
No.
As a professional institution or organization,
it's
it must be addressed for safety.
That is why I said you need to be taking it and ticking the box. And then tracking it with proper KPIs along the road so that you can know what you are doing.
You said it earlier.
And then at the end of the day, you license them. You need to license those who drive this petrol tanker. And give them a time limit. After 1 year, you come for a license.
You did say that there's so very much to talk about here.
But it can be done.
That's the most important
thing.
It
can be done. It can be
so
done by the right people.
As a result of your coming, we sort of factor this into
by
the
right
knowledge that we have.
Not just anybody who says he's a trainer and then can do that. No.
I want to thank you very much, Engineer Peter Onyeri, Chairman Board of Fellows of the Fire Protection Association of Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
And just enlightening us a bit. Okay, so that's our program.
Thank you.
Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.